Good morning, everyone. This is Kevin Robbins, CEO of MEA, and thank you for joining us for our weekly town hall. Today, we're going to talk about year-end celebrations. This came up, I was running my CEO peer group last week, and we all started talking about what are we doing, and really led to a lot of varied thoughts, but a lot of people weren't sure what they were doing. So we put out a quick survey, and Margaret Urick is going to review what we learned and try to help everybody with thinking about what to do this year in this very unusual year. And as always, then we'll follow that up with the legal update from Amy McAndrew. So glad you could join us today. As always, this is open for both members and non-members. Next week, we are gonna, you see the topic there, election woes in the workplace. No matter what happens, unfortunately, I don't think the impact of the workplace is gonna go away with this election in this very abnormal year for a lot of reasons. So we'll do a little bit of a roundtable of MEA experts looking at both legal things to think about as managers, both before and after the election, because I think this will be around for a few weeks. So join us as we'll make it very collaborative and kind of field questions. So I hope you can join us with that. The following week, which is the election day, we will take that day off. And then a week after that, we will be dealing with some financial and tax planning year end with Mario Vicari from Christian Miller joining us again. So a lot of good stuff coming up before we close out the year. In terms of larger events, October 30th is our Total Reward Summit. Again, very much directed towards 2021 planning. Our keynote speaker will discuss, culture and its own the impact of that on our businesses and kind of how to develop measurements for that. And we'll have health insurance panels, compensation panels, and then I'm moderating a great group of HR professionals in manufacturing and virtual businesses talking about kind of what's changing with workplace rules and kind of non-healthcare benefits going forward. So really good, useful information if you can join us for that event on the 30th. And finally, on December 10th, our business trends event, we will release the results of the survey, which is both regional and national, and we'll be joined by Joel Naroff, the economist, and Mike Trackman, our outside counsel, looking at the impacts of the election. So that event is free for members and a small fee for non-members. So again, a lot of good stuff coming up, and I hope you can join us for as many as possible. Okay. So we just talked about what our topics will be. So let me hand the baton off to Margaret Urick, and she'll get us going on the year-end celebrations. Margaret.
All right, great. Thanks, Kevin. So I get to have the really fun conversation with everybody here. Let's see. So as Kevin said, we did the survey, and in a moment, as soon as I start sharing my screen, I will show you and go through the results of those surveys with everybody. And looks like I'm set up here. So first, I just want to comment, and I know Kevin said he and his CEO peer group meeting heard from a lot of people they weren't sure what they were doing. Same with me. I have the HR peer groups that I run, and this was the topic pretty much for our meeting 2 weeks ago, is what are we going to do for the year end? And what we know is that our members love hearing from each other. So this session, my piece right now is really going to be kind of an idea sharing piece. So I would love to hear from all of you. So if you did not have the opportunity to participate in our survey, and you'll see that we do have some great responses, but if by chance you didn't have the opportunity to respond, please use the chat today to share your thoughts on the different questions that I'm going to be reviewing with you today. And if you did by chance last week take the time, or I should say have the time to respond to the survey, but something's changed, right? You were maybe unsure of what you were going to do last week, and now you know, or you have just different ideas, please also share those in chat. Again, this is for us all to just share the ideas that we have so that we can all benefit from this. All right, so with the survey, as I said, we did get some great responses. We had 123 people respond, and the people responding were our members and other local organizations, those of you that are coming to this town hall every Tuesday with us. We did not give you a whole lot of time to respond to the survey. It was a really quick turnaround, and that's because this is really a very timely topic. And so we wanted to be able to get out to you or get the information out to you as soon as possible. So I do want to thank all of those that were able to participate last week. Thank you for taking the time to do so. It's allowing me to come here now and share some great information with everybody. But like I said, again, if you did not have a chance to respond, please today in chat, share your thoughts with us. Okay, so our first question that we asked was, what did you do last year? Like, what's the norm for you? So we asked everyone to say, if you did something last year, what was it? You can see here based on the responses that lunch was the most popular way to do a year-end celebration last year, followed by a dinner, followed by other, and then sending a gift was captured 16% of the 123 responses, and 4% said we didn't do anything last year. So this is just for everyone to understand, hey, generally people do something, and this year we might be making a decision not to do anything, or we're gonna do something really different. So we thought it would be helpful just to say, hey, what's typical for us? So that's why we looked at what we did last year. So then question 2 was, is your company planning on doing something this year? Some type of year-end holiday celebration. And you can see the largest majority at 48% of the people responding really just have not decided yet. And that's why we're having the session today. Right. 29% said no, we're not doing anything. 23% said yes. So looking at this, of the people that said no, we thought it would be really helpful to understand, why are people choosing not to do some type of year-end celebration? Of those people, of the 29%, this was the breakdown. And probably not surprising to any of us that COVID and the safety concerns with COVID are the reason that we're not doing something. So I see we're getting some comments in chat. Thank you, Pam and Christine, Lisa, for sharing your thoughts. This is awesome. Please keep those thoughts coming. So Christine last year did an annual office Pollyanna gift exchange along with company holiday party with a guest on a Saturday. So that's great. In-office luncheon during work hours. Awesome. So keep it coming. That's what you did last year. If you have decided not to do something and you did not respond to this survey, please go ahead and put your thoughts in chat around that as well. So if you're sitting here saying, no, we've decided we're not doing anything this year, is it a budgetary decision? Is it COVID related? Is it that you just never do a year-end celebration? Or is it another reason? If so, please share those thoughts in chat. All right, so those of you that answered yes, and remember, we had 23% of our respondents said, yes, we are doing something. We wanted to know what you were doing. Again, we know there's so much value in members hearing from other members, because as Pam just said in chat, right, we are trying to decide. So we've got, of the choices here, you can see virtual celebrations is the huge winner in those people that have already made a decision, right? And that's the logical one right now with COVID and the safety concerns, right? Thinking about doing a virtual celebration of some sort, got 52% of the votes. Next was sending a gift, right? 33% of the people responded, said they're going to send some type of gift out to their employees. 26% are going to deliver a gift. 15% said, you know, we're going for that outside in-person event. And then 30% of you said other. Okay, and thank you for continuing to put your comments in chat here. Becky's saying that last year they did an evening dinner, probably not doing anything due to COVID and cost, but looking for something, especially this year with staff being out of normal strains, and want them to know they are appreciated. Becky, keep that thought in mind. We will come to that towards the end of this. All right, so this is a snapshot of what people are doing if they answered yes to the survey that we are doing something. Under the other, right? Because if you remember, we had a number of you that said, yeah, we're doing something, but it's not one of the 4 that you gave us to choose from. Here were some of those other thoughts. Again, showing this just so that you can borrow from these ideas, right? There's the individually packed lunches with a gift card. There is doing something inside, but hey, we have the space. We can socially distance each other. We can wear masks. We want to do that. Looking to have the leadership team travel in December to core locations, right? Discuss the results from 2020, look at 2021 goals, and then follow that up with a dinner. You know, these year-end celebrations are typically a great time to do that. There's no reason that you still can't have that type of year-end wrap-up, where you use this opportunity to look at the year in review, and then also talk about what's coming up, and to really rally everyone around those goals for the new year. The last one there, the virtual wine and beer tastings, sending a gift, doing company holiday recipe book. You got a lot of ideas in that last comment there. I was online doing research for today's session, and there are some companies out there that will, you know, provide an expert that will walk you through virtual wine and cheese pairings, or virtual wine tasting, virtual beer tastings. There's a lot of people out there now, a lot of organizations, a lot of companies that can support you in whatever it is that you're thinking about doing virtually. So if that is what you're thinking about doing, but you're just not sure how to do it, great ways to get some support around that. Pam's doing a recipe book. That's awesome. Okay, so these are those individuals that answered yes. These are some specific things that they're planning on doing. So now we've got all those people that haven't decided yet. And remember, that was a large portion, right? 48% of the people that responded said, yeah, we don't know, right? So here are some of the ideas that they're considering. All right, so if we look at these by category, we have 20 people that responded, and we had 55 responses total in this category, are considering doing a gift card, right, or a gift exchange somewhere in that. 16 people are thinking about doing a lunch, but being socially distanced, you know, right, so an in-person lunch. 12 just don't have anything, they're just considering it, but still probably maybe possibly just considering everything. 10 are considering a virtual event. 4 are doing a dinner that can be socially distanced. And then 3, some type of holiday bonus, maybe an extra PTO day. I do have a little more information regarding this. So here are some of those specific ideas that were provided that we thought would be really helpful for you to look at specifically. So instead of just one big dinner, having smaller group dinners. Okay, because then you can handle the numbers better. Sending a gift basket to everyone's home. A gift card or bonus with the money that would have been used for the party, right? That idea of repurposing this budget and using it for something else. Low-key celebrations that are, you know, on site, lunch or breakfast. This one we thought was really interesting, right? Use wellness credits from IBC to purchase gifts. Right, last year they gave a Fitbit. This year they're going to maybe do a zip-up hoodie. So not familiar with how that works, but obviously it's possible. So something you might want to look into. 12 days of prizes with raffles and competitions. So this idea that you can spread it out. Like typically, if we did the holiday dinner or the holiday luncheon, it was a one-time celebration. It was all contained in that one event. Now you have this opportunity to really spread it out and spread it over a number of days, spread it over a number of weeks, right? What's the opportunity there for your organization? Virtual luncheon with games and a team building component. And there's a lot of fun, again, resources out there on the web that if you do some research, you can find assistance with how to run games virtually. I saw a site that allows you to do the escape the room, where you actually have somebody wearing a camera and he's like your tour guide going through the room and you're following along virtually. So a lot of neat things that you can do, and you maybe spread it out over a number of days. There's the, we had this from a couple people, right? Making a donation to a cause that's closely tied to your company values. We already mentioned the virtual wine and cheese. And then somebody found a company that allows the employee to choose the gift card that they'd be most interested in. So that's a great way of having a gift card feel a little more personal. So let me just look at some of the questions or comments we have in chat here. So Karen Goldman shared that she has a resource for anyone wanting a guided wine discussion and tasting. And I believe, Karen, I saw that you also provided your email. She did. So if you wanted to reach out to Karen for that. Let's see. Cassie Gordon, I'd like to propose a luncheon like we've done in the past. They are fully open, but any ideas on how we can serve food in a safe manner? So if anybody has any thoughts on that, she was thinking we could have it catered and have everyone wash their hands before coming to get food and wearing their masks while they serve themselves, and they could just socially distance to eat. Some great ideas there, Kathy. Anybody else have any thoughts for how she could do this in a safe way? Again, if you're an organization that's on site and have people working, what have you thought about? What suggestions might you have?
So one idea on that, just throw that out there because I've been to a couple of external events. If you have a buffet, which you kind of usually do for something like this, if you have the catering staff serve it, so you basically, they have the plate, they walk down the line, they fill your plate for you and hand it to you. That's a pretty safe way to do it. That I think is very, very well, because you don't have people, a lot of people touching different things. And then you have, if you do disposable plates and knives and so on, it makes it very efficient.
All right, great, thanks, Kevin. Sonia, the numbers are all percentages except on this slide here. Let me just go back to it. These numbers here do represent the number of responses, individual responses that we received. All the rest are percentages. I see somebody already answered that for you. So Christine Adams, I don't see attendee link to guided wine tasting. If you want to, Christine, Karen Goldman provided her email above in chat. If you want to scroll back, you can find her email, reach out to Karen. She can give that information to you. Let's see, if the person who responded to the survey that they found a company that allows the employee to choose a gift card, we're getting somebody that's interested in knowing who that company is. So if you're here in this session today and can put that information in chat, that would be great. And let's see, looking to see if we have any other comments.
Hey, Margaret, let me jump in. There is
Sure.
one there from Stephanie that talks about, it looks like you found a place that really allows social distancing, but you still have employees who don't want to meet in person. That's a big issue, and it is one that we talked a lot about with at my CEO meeting last week. We don't want to, in this, especially during this time right now, you don't want to create something that makes people uncomfortable. And so a lot of that decision is going to be, is it better to wait on a live thing when everyone's more comfortable, or, be very cognizant. You don't want to force people to do something they're not comfortable with right now. Again, everyone has different levels of risk, and I think that's a really important thing to think about. And so, it is a pretty big thing to consider when you're thinking about your plans.
Very great, thanks, Kevin. And let's see, Karen Goldman did go ahead and put her email back in chat for you. Hopefully you were able to get that now. Christine Krause is saying she just had a demo with Fringe. ER pays into fund for each employee. I'll let everyone read through that to see, and really please read through your chat, scroll back, see some of the great comments that are getting added. Let's see, and that could be, so thank you for calling that out, Maria. If you're putting information in chat and you're sending your chat only to the panelists, then not everyone will be able to see it. So if you could scroll back and look at what you've posted, and if it was sent to only the panelists, if you could please go in chat, change the drop down so that it says to, and then choose all panelists and attendees, and then everyone will be able to see your comments. because it's very possible if some of you aren't seeing the comments that is why. But you're able to go back, copy it, and then just repost it, making sure that you select to send it to all panelists and attendees. These comments that you're sharing are great, and as I said at the very beginning, we wanted this to be an idea sharing session right now, so we'd love for everyone to be able to see the ideas that you are taking the time to post for us. So thank you for doing that. And as our producer just said, we'll also gather all these notes and make sure we send them out to you. So thanks for that, Ben. Okay, so these are those responses for people that haven't decided yet, but these are some of those ideas that they're considering. So just some other ideas that I wanted to share here is if you are going to do something virtually, you know, think about sending out decorations or props. Whatever that might be, right? So if you do a theme for your party, so maybe you send around props or you ask people to gather their own props, but that might be something that you could do. You could enjoy some type of class or lesson together. Really neat idea, right? Maybe if you know your group, and this is an idea that can definitely work better with a smaller group, but if everyone's really interested in beer making, you know, host a virtual beer making lesson. It's a really great opportunity to think about bringing an experience to your team. We already had somebody talk about doing a recipe swap. You know, you could leverage that for the Thanksgiving holiday or all the holidays in December. Great idea there. And, you know, we do have Thanksgiving coming up. So a gratitude session, and this could be in addition to whatever else you're doing for year end. But the Thanksgiving holiday is a great time for us maybe to pull everyone together. Even if this is something, and I should want to just put my pop-up here, right? All of these ideas are great ideas for your whole company, or even for you as a people leader with your team. And for the HR folks on the line here, right, encourage your individual team leaders to be doing something for their employees. We know as a result of COVID that our managers really have needed to lean in, being more present with their employees and really taking care of their employees, touching base with them, and getting to know them maybe on a different level than they have in the past. So doing a gratitude session is, you know, could be a great idea for someone just to pull their team together and everyone just talk about what they're really grateful for. And I'll leave this couple tips for how to share a virtual party. Since that was the big winner and really what everyone is thinking about doing this year, had just a couple thoughts. First, provide enough advance notice so that everyone can get it on their calendar. We know how busy we are. We know this can be really difficult. So in the research I was doing, it's been recommended like 2 months out. So like now, right? Start thinking about getting this on everyone's calendar. We all know in the virtual settings, we don't want to be here for too long. So plan an agenda so that you make sure you hit the key points in the celebration that you're covering. Again, this could be your opportunity to recognize your employees. It could be an opportunity to do that year-end wrap-up and also think about the goals for the future. So you want to make sure you have time to do all of those things. You want to make sure you include everyone. And the virtual environment allows for you to invite a lot of people. So make sure as you're thinking about who to include that you make sure you do include everyone. This is an opportunity to really make it about your employees. Think about what they want, provide that for them, and don't give them what they don't want. We've already talked about this, but a great opportunity, right? The year-end celebration is a great opportunity for public recognition. Make sure that's a part of this virtual celebration as well, right? Recognize the individuals for what they've done for you this year. People really do appreciate that. It will go a long way for you. If you're pulling together a large group of people, use the breakout rooms, right? This can be done in your party as well. You know, we use them in training all the time, but if you're thinking about pulling your whole company together to have everyone really feel like they're participating and a part of it, utilize the breakout rooms. And you could get real creative with different ways of doing that. Talked a little bit about repurposing budgets, right? So you're not renting out that hall and having that big dinner or lunch, whatever it might be. Use those dollars maybe to send a meaningful gift out to your employees. If it's If it's virtual, you want it to be interactive. That's what's going to keep people engaged. That's what's going to have it be memorable. There are so many games that you can play virtually. People have been spending months and months and months figuring out how to have fun in the virtual environment. So with a little research, with some of the ideas that we've had shared in chat here, I think you'll come up with ways of making it interactive. Gift giving, you know, that was a big idea that came up in the ideas that people were either had already decided or were considering. It was giving that gift. This really ties into the repurposing of the budget. If it's not something that you would have typically done because you were doing a big event, if you're not doing that now, you know, what is that little personal item that you can give to your employees? And then finally, right, it's another great opportunity to look to the future. Don't lose sight of that. Use this virtual event and make sure that that's a piece of what you do. So they were my ideas. I see we've got some great ideas coming in chat still. Thank you everyone for embracing this idea sharing session. The responses will be shared by us with you this week. So keep your comments coming in chat. I know you have your time with Amy, but I'm sure she won't mind if you can continue to put some thoughts in chat there, and we'll send them out to everybody. It was fun being here with you. It was fun talking about celebrations. Kevin, thanks for the opportunity.
Great, Margaret, thanks very much. And everyone, thank you for doing the survey so quick. It's great to see all these feedback. Two comments I think were really something to think about. A couple of people are doing some really fun Halloween things next week, so take a look at what people wrote about that, because again, Halloween's a little different this year. Someone also mentioned 2 employees retiring. So again, we're talking about the holidays, but you do have to look at these significant events in the past in which you've done. Because they are important to employees. I do a lot of engagement surveys, and I'm always amazed how important the team events are, the family picnics and so on. So, you know, just make sure you're looking at the past and don't let the new normal or COVID kind of disrupt what are very strong culture and engagement activities like that. So great feedback from everybody. And Margaret, thanks so much for that.
No
someone also mentioned something called Fringe as a place that has some kind of gift program. Very interesting idea. We'll take a look at that. Haven't heard about it. And you know, if there's anything to share beyond what's in the chat, we'll send it along to everybody. So with that, let's turn it over to Amy.